randomly playing. And I can't find my remote. There it is. She's playing Poppy Playtime 4, Chapter 4. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. And now we're doing this. See, don't you love me? I gotta pull up the comments. Comments. And it's not showing up on my phone. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. So this is the thing. Inspo off Experiment 21. Go check it out. So this is my own fan fiction of my show I'm making. The voice actors are supposed to come out, I think, or I'm deciding June 2nd, I want to say. I might change it back to what it originally was, which was tomorrow. Yeah, June 2nd. Why did I turn off my phone? I'm trying to look at comments, because it's not showing up on my iPad. But I will start explaining that Elliot is this thing, the first person. Oh my god, what did I do? No, stop. Okay, so I can't really show it because it doesn't work like that. Dang, my app. Anyways, I need to redo the thing because that is so ugly. I used to be so proud of that. So Elliot is, I'll draw them out first, I guess, because that's just easiest. Yep, okay. So Elliot is the beaker. So, in this story, he's, like, gone insane for personal reasons. I don't know why. I just wanted to make it because I thought it'd be silly. We'll make this into the title later, but I don't feel like doing it right now. Because if I get distracted one more time, I'm gonna go insane. Think about the other characters. So Elliot, not Elliot. This is Elliot. What was his name? Gray. Yeah, Gray. Everybody says he looks like Sketchpad from, or what is his name? Sketchpad? Yeah, I think so. From the Nightly Manor. He has a fun part in this story. Or they have a fun part in this story. Not me forgetting my own character's genders. Ew, I don't like that face. The only difference is because the Sketchpad from the Nightly Manor has that. And he has arms, I think. And his things are like that, I guess. Help, it's so silly. And Elliot, Gray has more design. I think they're originally Zane, but I did change it because that was their original name. Who else? Harvey, which is Gray's little brother. I gotta draw him silly, okay? Even though there's like a traumatic part in the story with him. It's so silly. This is such a silly fan fiction of my own show. I don't want to talk about it, okay? And then we have Sweet Tea. This isn't size comparison. This is just me doodling. Sweet Tea is, Sweet Tea, I think in this story she, like, goes insane and stuff. But, like, not Elliot insane. She get, like, loses her mind. The walls are caving in, kind of insane. I can't draw, like, scared eyes, okay? Leave me alone. And then who else is in here? I think Dawn. Dawn is in here. No, hold on, it's Jess. There we go. It's like, okay, Dawn is the candle. It's not an eyebrow, by the way. It's her melt. Cool drawing skills. Thank you. It's a lot better, I promise. And I'm still deciding whether or not to give her, like, fire, because I don't want to look at, like, the candle from Inanimate Sanity, especially because bacon. Oh my god, I forgot there. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cosmic Brownie or Nova. She's just, yeah. She's got that shrimp bow in her. Like throughout the entire thing. I love Cosmic Brownie. I like how all the rest of them are like, she's just, Also, I'm sorry for not gonna do my lines or something for Gray. What? I haven't even started writing the show yet, and I didn't know you were signed up for Gray. Wait, are you in the Discord? Okay, so Elliot, main antagonist. Main protagonist is Sweet Tea, and then the rest are side characters. Sort of. Why did I erase her thing? This is the child. That's the, I can't say anything about them because that's gonna reveal a big part of the story. That's the little hoe. And that's the thing that sits in the corner and cries. Not really. Alright, anyways, let's get to it. So, view as reader. Part 1. Alright. Yeah, it's still wishbound. Just making sure. Yeah, warning for cursing before I start any of this. I don't want to do this at this, like, it's 2, almost. Put my Apple Pencil up. Elliot, POV. Damn it. I can't get this experiment right. It's starting to piss me off. I can't just sit here and study this. Maybe Gray or Lola would help. No, I don't need to bother them with my hobby anymore. I already do enough. I just keep messing this up. I should quit this experiment and do a new one. Maybe I do need their help then. Like they said, this is, like, very heavily based off of, well, it's not heavily based off of Experiment 21, but it's based off of it. Or inspired from it. Sorry. I'll stop here. Gray went to go pick up their phone, but it buzzed, and to their surprise, it was his group chat that Ellie had made. Speak of the devil. Gray picked up their phone and then locked it. They checked their group chat. Hey everyone, I was never asked for physical help on his experiments. Maybe he was struggling? Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to help, bud. I need to fix this so much. I'm so sorry. It's so cringe. Still felt weird. Elena, sweet tea. Elena was also in her room, but asleep. She was always the one to sleep or take frequent naps despite always being so energetic all the time. She was woken up by the buzzer of her phone. Huh? Oh. Elena picked up her phone and unlocked it. Finding out she had been added to group chat. She hated group chats. She sighed and looked to see what it said. Hold on, I gotta find it. Hey, I don't feel like saying it. Oh, sounds fun. I'll be sure to go. She said on text and aloud. Harvey, being the child of the group, was running around outside with Squid. Cole, go away. No. Oh, sure. Open. I'm gonna explain one more thing. Great. Harvey's like 10. Oh, hey, kiddo. Kiddo. Oh, hey, kiddo. I was looking for you. Uncle Elliot wants our help with an experiment. Want to go help him? Really? He never asked for help. Come on, let's go. Harvey yelled, running toward where he thought Elliot's lab was. Wrong way, kid. Oh. Hey, Squid, didn't see you there.
Hey, I was just running with the kid. Y'all have fun with Elliot. Tell him I said hi. He hasn't been up for challenges recently, and I'm about to send him home.
Squid said jokingly. Now I have to just wait for everyone to get here. I hope they'll be fine with them caught. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Come in! I need to stop. Everyone on the hand wave.
Hey, El. It's been a Cole. We're not laying on the tablet, you dumb.
Nah, the less the better.
So what's the experiment? And who all's coming down here?
I'll explain when everyone is down here. And for the cool time scope, unlock the door.
They're the only one. Get out of here.
Hey, that's my line. Nuh-uh. His sibling is in on it too. What a shame. I'll watch them through the cameras until they stop. Oh, that's no point in that? Okay. Part 2. No warnings for this one. Narrator POV, which is something. Gay. Hold on, how long is this one? That's crazy. Yeah, 808 words. This one isn't long as the other one. Alright. Oh, there was 2 comments. I didn't see them. Slay. So slay. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Alright. Narrator POV. Elena, Nova, please. I know you're both very 10. Fine, whatever. He was trembling and sobbing, but calmed down a bit. Gray wiped off the tears from Harvey's face, kneeling down in front of him. I should start walking down there, in case they try anything. Harvey POV. This is terrible. We're sorry for Reed. I teared up again and lunged forward at my sibling, hugging them until it, but still couldn't help just cry. Okay, we need to plan this. I made you leader. Now is not the time, Elena. Don't want to get caught. Dawn's right. I know my way around his lab. I've been here 100 times, and I helped build the damn place. Yeah, whatever. But what if we do get caught? That's still up for debate. Gray and Harvey know Elliot the best, being friends before the show and such. Yeah. For now, let's just wait for Elliot to get back. About an hour had gone by before the group had heard footsteps coming up from outside the room. Everyone seems to calm down enough for me to explain. Elliot, what the hell are you doing? Quiet, Gray. Let me explain. Fine. Good. Well, I know you're all probably here till I say so, and if you try to escape, you will be punished. That means I could burn your skin, stab you, shoot you. Hell, kill you for the experiment if I want. You're insane! No, it's just for science, Bose. Don't diss me or my... I don't know if I explained this first, but Elena isn't a canonical show character. She's just one of my FCs that caused this whole bad time skips slash cliffhangers. Enjoy. I woke up gasping for air and looking around the room. It was dark and padded. I was half asleep, so I couldn't quite understand what was going on. Then I remembered Elliot had kidnapped us. I looked around to see if anyone else was awake. Thank God they weren't. I sat up and leaned against the padded wall, trembling from the cold and fear. This was all strange and unexpected of Elliot. He seemed nice at first glance, but apparently not. He was just insane. I held back tears, knowing that we'd probably must have cut off the service down here because my messages wouldn't go through. This all seemed like a blur dream to me. A nightmare was more really like it. All these thoughts stemming through my head at once. The dark room, the team. Harvey still sounded like he was upset, even while sleeping. I looked over and saw him in gray cuddled in the corner. My face frowned with guilt. That kid shouldn't be down here. He's only 10. I leaned my head against the wall and sighed. Sitting in silence for a while, I swore I started seeing things. I started to panic. Then I felt like the walls were closing in on me from my paranoia. Before I knew it, I had started to have a panic attack. It was always easy for me to get them, and I hated it. I just hyperventilated and hoped nobody would wake up to see me like a mess. Wake up to see me like a mess as this. Eventually, I passed out again. Everyone had woken up a couple hours later, starting off with Nova, who was grumbling in a corner. Then it was Gray, who rubbed their eyes and looked around the room, careful not to wake their little brother. Elliot walked in with a stretch, and there was a loud boom over the speakers as he spoke into his mic. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone slept well. I doubt it, though. The tile isn't the best thing to sleep on. My bad, he said. Then everyone else woke up with a huff. Yet Harvey stayed quiet, which was very out of character for him. I bet you're all hungry. Well, I don't really care. If you get hungry, just eat each other, which I doubt will happen. You'll all be fed every other day, or at least a month. For at least a month. Then I'll keep spreading days apart until I just stop feeding you all. Hopefully I can get my hands on a recovery machine in time then. I don't want to go into reviving you and then I get caught. He said with a shrug and spoke up again. But none of you have to worry about experiments for about a week, I'd say. For now, I'm just focusing on emotions. And right now, everything's moving a lot quicker than it should. Good. Keep it that way. You'll get out faster. He commented with almost a sinister grin and walked off on the two-way glass that blocked him and the group. Oh, great. We're all gonna be cannibalistic before we get out of here. I can't believe this. I'm just going back to sleep. Maybe. Hold on. How many words did I do this? Wow. Where is it? Alright. What did he just say? What made it worse for me is that I dragged my little brother into all this. He was only a kid. He didn't deserve to be tested on. I backed to the wall and slid down, hugging my knees to my chest and rested my chin on them. But before I knew it, I fell with two sharp hands on my objects. I knew this wasn't going to be good. On the climb, starting. This was me. Yeah, I had sprained my wrist, so I couldn't update for a while. And read at your own risk. Just bleeding. The blood was pouring from their hand. I walked out of the lab. After a good 10 minutes, I'd found a first aid kit. It was packed with everything. It looked fairly new. I took it with me and ran back to the lab as fast as I could. I set my 5 objects down for Gray. They looked pale, but they were awake now. It looked like they had already pulled the objects out of their hand because there was a hole and bones were showing. Their blood was everywhere, on them, on the ground, even on the other subjects. This was a disaster. How was I supposed to fix this mess? Finally, that bastard is back. And he has supplies with him, too. Maybe he actually does care. No, he couldn't. If he locked us down here like this, I looked, bones were showing from their hand. Blood was all up my arms as I tried to keep them awake. But it was like I blinked and they passed out again. Silence was broken by Elliot storming the room. He threw the first aid at me and I caught it. Consider this your first experiment. I'll see how you can handle this, he said, and walked out of the room again, locking the door. Damn, he pissed me off. He threw the responsibility on me though I didn't know what to do. Harvey was crying in the corner. Helena was still asleep. Jess? Okay, that shouldn't be in there. And Nova was scared for once. I sighed and walked up to her with a first aid kit. Nova, you've been in a lot of fights, right? Do you know how to do this? How dare you assume this? Just because I cut her off. Nova, now it's time. Right, deal. We both walked over to Gray. They were still unconscious, but still looked pained. I looked down at their non-injured side, holding their injured side. Hold on, wait, what? I sat down at their non-injured side, holding their... Oh, God. While watching Nova. She was surprisingly gentle with it. I'd never seen her so content. She didn't do much but cleaned up their hand and wrap gauze around it, but that was all that she could do, really. Okay, I think that was it. Yep, it was just 1, 2, 3, and 4. What was the other thing I was gonna do? Oh, yeah, we were supposed to look at the thing. The fruitcake comic that I got distracted by wattpad. Oh, no. I might have a little bit of ADHD. Should we look at more comics? Oh wait, no, I know what I was gonna show. It was my knife brush thing. Where is it? God, this thing makes me cry and I need to read the rest of it. Ooh, or should I live react to Fear Garden? Not Hall 17. No, keep my old position. Okay, let's read Fear Garden. I haven't read Fear Garden. Yet, a few objects were vacant in the city, both eliminated, though they were in the tiny loser chamber. Feel pity. And those who were still competing, they wandered freely, exploring the city and the wonders behind it, or they stayed in their daily chores such as gardening and cleaning up their area of stay. They kept themselves busy each and every day that passed. The yo-yo needy stood high in the air, with the cage swaying. Everything was going as usual as it was. The free smarter was occupied tending to his potato garden, while a few others hung around him to keep him company. Coiny and Nickel chatted with Fries about the day and the chilly temperatures it brought, while the scientist duo were fixing the wall teleporter they brought from the museum. Everyone was busy with their day, except one. In the far outskirts of the city was a luminescent garden, overflowing with life and glowing with beauty. Ever since they arrived there, she found the spot to be perfect for her garden. Years of hard work has brought her such a lively and stunning garden, though it was not how she felt. The owner of the garden, Pin. She was pacing back and forth, her arms and hands trembling, and her breathing heavy and anxious. The garden used to produce she was loud and proud, a true like themselves and fix up their mistakes. Pin was falling apart. Feeling in front of her garden, feeling strangely jubilant and powerful, such as a queen preparing for a celebration. The sky was red as blood, with dark, gloomy clouds drifting slowly through the heavy air. In the middle of these contents stood a hand, a cold, lifeless hand, with drops of blood on the side. Around the garden, there was areas of the garden. Small tombstones were placed next to the corpses, revealing their names and what their purpose in the garden is. Pin walked through the garden, reading all the small tombstones. Flower brings a lot of beauty to the garden. Rocky, a stool. Match helps the plants grow upright instead of slouched. She continued to make. Pin's eyes snapped open, looked around the small room. Darkness stuffed the entire her bedroom. Her hands still trembling, cold to the touch, she walked down the hall, and soon opening the door gently. As it opened, she took a peek inside to the object underneath the covers of his bed, letting out the snores that echoed the room. It was Corny.
He was fast asleep, his arms wrapped around one of them coming from him, but he'll clean it up soon. Pin stood there for a moment, a soft bit of soil. She took a long breath and looked around at her garden. Okay, she mumbled. Whatever this dream is, it isn't real. It's just a dream. She looked up. It's just a fake. It's not real. It won't happen. She hesitated towards the end of her sentence. Many breath. Love the profile picture. The garden was glowing. It was a hand. Pin let out a shriek as she was covered in blood and dirt, standing for just anyone to help her free. But everyone was dead. The other Pin clenched her heart up. I thought it was an episode. Pin shot up, screamed down quickly with the force of adrenaline and anger, but was stopped by Pin looked around slowly. Coiny, needle, golf tennis ball stood around her bed.
What happened?
She murmured. Golf ball jumped down.
He told us you weren't waking up at all, yet you were yelling.
Needle examined closely. Her wrist was red and sore. Her hand had a death grip on her. Pin flinched as it waved her hand from the wrist. And looked at Coiny. The room. Needle looked down at Coiny, infuriated. Don't call me needy, she jeered. Are you sure you're gonna be okay? He mused. Like GB said, you were screaming at one point, then you were crying out of nowhere. Pin opened her mouth to speak, but quickly paused as the memories of the night. She hesitated at the last part before looking at Coiny. Confidence soon filling her eyes. Coiny let out a warm smile as he put an arm around her and gave her a playful punch. Now that's the confident team captain I know, he chuckled. Pin couldn't help but smile and relax on her friend's shoulder. Sure, he can be an idiot sometimes, but God, he could change to a caring and sweet friend in a snap. She closed her eyes and let us sigh. It was just a dream. Lifted up her head.
So, Pin. Thanks, TV. Now that
he reminded, I don't know who said that. There was a wonderful feeling, being the center of attention, being treated like royalty. I don't care to. It's been a few days since this slid. She literally shook. Dominance was a very powerful feeling, and it should be felt with responsibility. Being becomes like a drug. You become extremely addicted to the point where you would do anything to get the feeling back. And that's exactly what happened. She was running out of ways to lead everyone, and because of that, it was driving her mad. She needed to be a leader. She needed to be someone to cower below her. Yes, cower. She no longer wanted to be admired. She wanted to be admired and feared. But how? She walked around Yo-Yo City and searched for someone to just rule over. She continued to wander aimlessly before she heard a voice come from the distance. I think we need to find some berries. Oh, really? Really? I know, I see. But, hey, maybe she'll let us stay inside the room. We have to prove that we can be great Alliance members. Book and Ice Cube. She could see the two slowly walking in this direction, chatting away. Until she unfolded it with small crinkles coming from the sheet. She quickly scanned through the list. We need berries, some pot, bread, chips, fruit, some rice, pasta, and chicken. Ice Cube looked up after reading off the items, but gave her a kind smile. Alright. We'll get them, and when we're on our way, we can get back to her. Hi, girls! Timidly. Oh, we're just running some errands. We're busy today. Haha, she grinned nervously. Pin nodded before looking down, only to see the sheet of paper in her hands. Oh, what's this? She snatched space pop chips. She read off with an unenthusiastic tone. She scanned through it a bit more before crumpling the paper into a small ball and tossing it at Ice Cube's head. The ball gently bonked against Ice Cube's head as she let out a cry. Stood back up and glared at Pin. What was that for? Pin snickered and looked at Ice Cube, who looked up back at Pin. Tears were sliding down from her eye that was shut, while the other was filled with pure fear. Oh, what's wrong, Ice Cube? Do you have a boo-boo? You want a kiss to make it feel better? She laughed out. Ice Cube's body was shaking uncontrollably, but as Book stood in front of her, arms crossed, speaking in a mocking tone towards us. Oh, someone only proves that the person and I raised her eyebrows in awe. Aw, how sweet. Well read is protecting little Miss Crybaby, she grinned. Book clenched her fist before stepping closer to Pin. Don't call me well read, she growled. Oh, shut your trap, you nerd. Pin let out a half-hearted laugh as she stepped closer, staring down at Book. She put a hand on her hip and smirked. Stop acting like little Miss Smarty Pants, would you? You aren't as well read as everyone thinks you are. Book's eyes widened. She resisted the urge to punch her clean on the face. Well, Book stated, pointing her finger in the air, you're just a dramatic faker who's constantly on the search for being center of attention 24/7. You're only acting this way because you're scared of something, and even if you think you're such a great natural born with rage, and she suddenly tackled Book to the ground. Book let out a shout before painful wheeze escaped her lips. As Pin punched her in the face, hardened screams and yells echoed through the street. Meanwhile, Ice Cube dashed through the trees. She panted as she looked around with her one good eye, since her other eye was still blurred with tears. She saw a few objects in the sidewalk and screamed out, "Coming through!" Within a second, she yelps and cries in the air as the startled objects fall over, or toppled again, being on it hard. Pencil, help me! It's Ice Cube! I want Ice Cube, she grunted. Book is hurt! Pin threw down punches at an alarming speed, grunting vigorously as she looked down at Book. Ripped pages were scattered across around them, while Book's cover was clearly torn in half. Her left eye was swollen shut, and her cover was dented with holes from each side in every punch. Blood trickled down from Book's chin. She laid still, hoping that Pin would stop soon. Pin's sides were darkened from the bruises that Book was responsible for. Her cheek was a deep purple from the swift blow. Book gave shock and fear. Pin, stop! He yelled out. She took a glance at Ruby, cradling in her arms. Book let out a soft cough before slowly sitting up, flinching hard from the waves of pain hitting her like a bus. Ruby clutched her close, tears pouring down her cheeks. Pencil's face was painted with worry as she spoke with Book, asking her if she could hear them and see. Bubble was consoling Ice Cube, who was holding some sort of heating pad over her eye, match set next to moonshine in his hand. Oh no. Flinched before they heard a slight chop, the sound of twinkles, and then silence. They slowly backed up, shaking in fear, holding the breath. Pin stood there, anger still clear on her face. Her arms reached out, ready to rip through their chest and cause pain. She was frozen. A little freeze juice day can make these guys. Alright, tonight we're letting Book and Ice Cube sleep in the clubhouse, she mumbled, hand on her head. Match clutched her arm. We should head back then, Pence, and get everything ready for the two. She looked down at the others who were dreary and dazed with the whole situation that just hit them. Pencil nodded and stood up. Guys, let's go back to the clubhouse. Ruby, help Book and Pet. They all nodded sluggishly before sluggishly stood up. Oh my. Okay, the life didn't stop. I'm just going insane. Where was I at? They all nodded sluggishly and stood up and plodded down the streets, Book mumbling in pain and Ruby rubbing her back. How weird it is. A situation as bad as this, bringing people closer together. Corny sighed and looked back at Pin's frozen body. He walked over to her and looked closely. I think you need a bit more rest, buddy. Pin sat on her bed, staring down at the floor. The effects of the freeze juice finally wore off an hour ago, and now, while she was rethinking everything that happened, you were always a leader. You're just weak. You're scared of something. That's why you're acting this way. Voices echoed through Pin's mind as she held her head. Tears stung in her eyes as memories of the nightmare began to return. She had nothing to do. She had to make the stop. She wanted to feel happy again. Safe, knowing that none of this was real. And wait. The only times I've ever felt happy were when I was a leader, Pin thought. Pin shot up and snatched her paper and pen from the small desk. When she began to write down, she saw each and every nightmare. It always happened the same way. The garden, fog, holes in the ground, tombstones, corpses, hands, Me. She looked up, tapping her pencil on the small desk. I'm repeatedly smiling in the dream, but I never understood why. Was it because of what I did? Was it because... Pin's eyes stretched as wide as she began to scribble down more notes before the door slowly creaked open. A soft-spoken voice made Pin jump a bit before she flipped the sheet onto its blank side. She turned around to see only Corny with a subtle smile on his face. Pin sighed and looked down. Oh, hey, Corny. She immediate care in his eyes. How are you feeling? He questioned. I know you were pretty bruised up, but I managed to put a few ice packs on you while you were out. Pin nodded as she pointed the ice packs on the side of her pillow. I took them off when I woke up, but thanks, Corny. She put a hand on her bruised cheek. And besides, the fact that I feel crappy about what I did, but at the same time I don't. I'm feeling okay. Corny raised an eyebrow. You did cause a lot of damage from what I heard. Book has a black eye and a lot of black and blue. Even if Ice Cube's eye has gotten better, though she did get a cut from the paper. I don't know. She was hurt, but she's doing okay now. And Fry's Pin's voice cracked a bit, her eyes not moving from the ground. Corny stayed for a moment before clearing his throat. You messed up his back, and he's in severe pain. We're trying to help. Crack it out. He can barely move. Pin let out a grunt of concern before covering her face with her hands. I'm so stupid. Pain. It's not that. It's not the fact that I hurt people. Whoa, take it easy, Pin. Breathe. Corny looked at her and put a hand on her shoulder, attempting to breathe slowly and steadily so Pin could follow his example. Pin slowly looked up, her breathing fast and short at first, but he pat her back. I know that you're still freaked out after that sleep incident, but everything is okay now. There's nothing to be afraid of, Pin. He gently cupped his hand over hers, letting her head lay on his shoulder. He lifted out a soft breath as I'm gonna cry. Sorry. Pin's eyes opened to the darkness of her bedroom. She rubbed her eyes and began to turn to her side, but froze as she felt someone behind her. She slowly laid down. I was the leader in the dream, and the garden was somehow better. It was glowing. It had so many forms of life. She took a small summary beneath the the paper title. I mean, it was boring. Why not make it more? The bed made a small creak. She turned around and saw that his arms were slowly moving around the bed. Looking for her, she smiled a split second as she watched him continue where she left off. Why not make it a bit more exciting? 1. Apologize to everyone you hear. Takes a few days, but jot down where the most popular area where everyone is meets. Then choose the most isolated. Find everyone, someone who isn't well known or liked, and bring them to the so-called area. Kill them. Cut off their hands, and quickly take the hands and hide them someplace safe. Leave the body. Wait until the death is found and take it for future use. Wait 3 to 4 days. Repeat. Rule 11. Do not hurt your best friends. And that's